Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Korean Connection. Tired of everyone telling you to find your passion, but no one telling you how? Welcome to the Korean Connection, and I'm your host, Korean, an attorney with a passion for empowering others to use their many talents and skills towards a path of self-discovery and alignment. Join me as I share my personal stories, professional insights, and practical tips, and how you can connect the dots between what you're great at and turning your passions into purpose. Let's connect. Push it to the left, back it go no more. Feeling like no, I'm coming back home. I'm dirt road, I'm on you. I'ma be great, write my name in the stone. Write my name in the stone. Yeah, I'm coming back home. Yeah, I'm coming back home. Write my name in the stone. Cause I'm coming back home. Cause I'm coming back home. Welcome to the Korean Connection. This is episode 32 of the Korean Connection podcast. And I'm excited about today's guest because he's not just a name in the industry. He's the engine behind a lot of the moves that you see but never hear about. He's a Brooklyn native, CEO of BDM, Backdoor Movements, and the man they call both the plug and the outlet. Smitty has built a career turning raw talent into real opportunity. He's a natural leader who has created a lane of his own as the person who connects the dots for numerous artists and has positioned himself in the room with some of hip-hop's heaviest hitters. Rick Ross, P. Diddy, Beanie Siegel, Jada Kiss, Burna Boy, Davido, 50 Cent, Lloyd Banks, Jim Jones, either breaking bread with them or putting plays together behind the scene. Instead of just chasing clout, Smitty has built BDM brick by making positive moves for numerous artists, turning their dreams into reality. He's also known as Mr. Talk is Cheap, a motto that came from one simple idea. If you're not about business, about purpose, about real action, there's nothing to talk about. His life is a grind, a lifestyle, and a masterclass in how consistency, vision, and integrity can turn hustle into legacy. If you're an artist, a creative, or an entrepreneur trying to figure out how to turn your passion into purpose, this inspiring conversation is for you. Welcome to the Korean Connection, my longtime friend, Mr. Talk is Cheap himself, Smitty.
Thank you, Kareem. Appreciate that. That was a hell of an intro right there. Definitely appreciate that. It's
very welcome and well-deserved. Now, because you're on the Korean Connection, I have to tell my audience how we connected.
Definitely.
Because it's like over 20 years plus that we've known each other.
Yeah, facts.
Do you remember how we connected?
I think it was like at a law firm or something like that. And I think we went to lunch or something.
Yeah. Well,
like we were both temping, I think, at the time.
Right.
We both just graduated from college, if I remember correctly.
That's correct. We both graduated from college. I found myself unemployed, so I started temping.
Exactly.
And I got this position at a law firm, and sure enough, you were one of the temps that were there.
Yeah.
And you know, it was boring work. I think it was like data entry or some shit like that.
Yeah, some boring. But it paid well, I think. If I
did.
remember, the pay was crazy good back in the days.
Back then, right?
Yeah.
And so, of course, Smitty's sitting next to me and had me laughing and shit like straight Brooklyn dude, right?
Yeah.
And like by like lunchtime, he was just like, yo, we got to go to lunch. There's a McDonald's up the street. And he was just like, he was just like, cause you my girl now. You remember that?
Yeah. I definitely remember that. That was a good old days. Facts.
And like that is like quintessential you. Like you're always so confident in everything you do.
You gotta be.
And not for nothing, like one of the things that like, I don't know, like you just have like an uncanny way of pissing me the hell off sometimes. Because like one of the things I friggin' hated about you was like how friggin' cocky you were.
Yeah.
And one of the things I love about you, Smitty, is how friggin' cocky you are.
Yeah, that's true.
That confidence is like amazing and attractive, number one.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's something that has obviously brought you this far in your career,
Definitely.
that confidence.
Definitely.
So let's start there. Like you've built BDM from like brick by brick. You are the face. There ain't no middleman, no nobody. It's just you.
Yes.
How has that confidence played into where you are right now?
I mean, I've always been a confident guy. I feel like if you step in a room, you got to step in it like you own it. You won't get anywhere unless the energy you have, people are attracted to it and they want to build with you. They want to vibe with you. You can't walk in there with your head down.
Yeah.
You got to walk in like you know what you're doing. And I think, over the years, the more work I put in and the more my resume grows and people see I put in that work and not just talking about it, when they actually do their research on me, I think that builds my confidence even more. So now I'm like unstoppable at this point.
And the thing about it, like the confidence is like the core of who you are.
Yeah,
like you have been so consistently you over all the years that I've known you. It's insane and like impressive, honestly.
I've been the man since high school.
Here you go.
Most popular, class athlete, best dressed. I mean, I've been the man since high school.
You see what I'm saying?
Went on to play D1A football, you know what I'm saying? University of Connecticut. I mean, I really lived it. I always, had an upper hand and been a leader amongst my peers.
Yes.
Most people that I grew up with, I've always been the leader, the one to say what we doing, where we going, how we moving. So, I was captain of the football team, As a freshman, I was on varsity playing football with the big boys, the seniors. So I've always had that in me, you know. So I guess I get it from my father. I'm a natural born leader.
Yeah. And, it's underestimated, like, how important it is to be able to have that presence, to have that confidence, and not only that, not only command the room, but be able to command the people that surround you.
Yes.
And, like, ever since I've known you, like, even though you're always working your 9 to 5, that's another thing that we got to touch base on.
Definitely. I don't mind.
You always had like those goons. You're like, yo, I got my goons.
Yeah. You know that. Well, I've always been someone in the community people look up to. Whether it's, and I've always related to the people who aren't as fortunate as me in the community, and these people look up to me. So I always go back and I've always been one to be able to structure them.
Yeah.
Like if we're going out, okay, I know y'all all like this, but we gonna move like this tonight.
Yeah.
And we gonna get in for free. Y'all gonna have fun, but it's always been structured, And when they see that leadership character in me and they know I'm gonna lead them to somewhere that's gonna be good and we all gonna have a good night, it's gonna be a good vibe, they put that faith in me.
Yeah.
You're not gonna let anyone just lead you. So when these people see that, I'm able to lead and they put that faith in me, I lead. So yeah, I stay with the goons too. You know that ain't changed. I always been, protected and connected.
Totally.
So
and it's so important that you're able to recognize that strength, which it really is, a strength of yours to be able to like take on that leadership role. At what point did you realize that this is something that's innate to what I'm able to do? And now you're connecting it to something with purpose, which is BDM. At what point did you see like, okay, there's a connection here that can turn this something that I'm really good at into like now, a platform for you?
It's funny you say that and even recognize it, to even say that, because that's deep what you just did, because a lot of people don't put the two together. That I bring one world into the other and I use that strength to turn into power to do what I do with the music.
Yes.
So for you to even recognize that, well, you know me and see how I move, so I'm sure you've been out with the goons, so you know how it is. But, that's very rare. Some people don't recognize that. But I don't know. Now that's a good question. I just feel like, structure goes back to structure. Back in the days, artists would come to New York and they want to go out, they want to party, they want to hang out. New York was rough.
Yeah.
So I've always been, when I played football, I have a lot of cousins that want to come see me. I have the whole community, and these people are known in the community as gangsters.
Yeah.
But these gangsters are my family, people I grew up with, people that I went to school with that I don't look at as other people would look at.
Yeah.
So I don't give them that. I treat them accordingly.
Right.
So, when these artists would come into town, I'd go tell the gangsters like, yo, everybody you know, gather them up tonight. We gonna meet on this block, and we all gonna run into the city, and everyone's free.
Yeah.
Everything's on me.
Yeah.
We all good. So, the artists got the look they wanted with the gangsters in the building and everyone. And meanwhile, the gangsters was in the city. Usually they don't leave the block.
Right.
Now I got them in the city. They drinking for free.
Yeah.
They with the famous rapper. They taking pictures.
Yeah.
So, it worked out for everyone. And then I realized, like you said, that's power.
Yes.
So I just started, organizing it. And pretty much it fell into a business organically. It started off by me just making sure artists were good when they came into New York City, and just, I think someone got their chain took, and I knew the person that took the chain, and I ended up getting back the chain, and then it just ran from there.
Right.
Now I was the muscle,
Yeah.
and also, I could be trusted.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people that are the muscle can't be trusted, because you
Yes.
got to watch. The same dog will bite you. So when people realize, like, I got my own, I don't need what you got. Just show me the way. Show me how to get money.
Yeah.
Get me in the game. They saw that I was hungry. They saw that I was a hustler.
Yeah.
They saw that, I could turn one into two.
Yeah.
They saw I didn't need what they had. Just show me how to get where you just put me in the room.
Yeah.
And when they saw that, they entrusted in me, in the beginning, Beanie Siegel, Jadakiss, these were people that, saw stuff in me and, entrusted in me, posted me on their Instagram, took me places, they let me, shout out K-Slay, they put me in a position to win.
Yeah.
They gave me that power. Like, if you want to deal with me, go talk to Smitty.
Right.
And I ran with it. And I didn't use it in a bad, negative way.
Yeah.
I used it how it was supposed to be used, and they recognized that. Yeah.
I mean, man, you said so much a while ago. But first of all, I want to go back to like one of the beginning things where you're talking about making the connection and connecting the dots, because that's what this whole platform is. That's one of the things that I find is so important. A lot of people can't make the connection between what their strengths are, their innate talents are, to turn that into purpose. And you've done exactly that, which is obviously why you're here, because I can see that you're using, like, I've known you forever. So to see that consistency, that level of that way that you're able to bring what you have and connect the dots between people who wouldn't have ordinarily been able to even connect those dots for themselves, you thrive there. And that's amazing. That's you connecting the passion to purpose. So I see that. That's off the bat.
Appreciate that.
And number two, just like you said, like, you just come from such a pure place always, regardless of wherever or relationship you and I, or relationship has always been, there's always been a level of respect.
Definitely.
And I think that's one of the driving force between who you are. Like, you demand a certain level of respect, not because you're demanding it, you just get it by virtue of who you are, right? Like you say, you're not in it for any sort of clout. You're just literally doing what you do best.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely a lifestyle. People chase clout, but, if they chase purpose, they'd learn everything comes with purpose.
Right.
People will chase, you chasing females, don't chase females, chase money, or be passionate to get money, because when you get the money now, you'll get the females. It'll come with it. But,
right.
You got to learn that with time. And I think I learned that at an early age.
Yeah. Where did that come from? How did you learn that at an early age? Like, I know you mentioned your dad. Like, what is it that you thought that kind of, where do you think that beginning thing is that instilled that in you?
I mean, my dad was always a hard worker. I watched my dad work hard and come home, put his check down for my mom every week, and did what a man had to do. So my dad, subconsciously, he set that foundation in me of what a man was. He provided, he protected. My dad was a beast.
Yeah.
My dad has never said I love you, but through his actions, I knew, he showed he loved me more than anything. We'd go out, and the respect he'd get in the streets, like, we'd go to his domino club. Soon as he comes in, he's the one, it's when my dad is there, it's like the man is there, so, I always sat back and I watched that and I admired that. And, it wasn't until I got older I realized I'm just like my dad. Like, my dad, best friends was Billy Ocean growing up. he'd be in England. The artists, Stevie Wonder, Bob Marley, they'd come to England. They'd be running around with my dad.
Yeah.
So now that I look at it, I'm like my dad.
Right.
You know,
right.
because I'm a provider, I'm a protector. Nothing comes before my daughter.
Yeah.
You
and I know even before your daughter, your mother was your girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I have that instilled in me. So I just ran. It's natural.
Yeah.
It's natural.
And now you've started BDM, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit, like, what is that? Like, what is BDM?
I mean, BDM is pretty much a movement. Backdoor movement's been doing me. It's something I created years back, and, you know, it was just something that I just had to put a name on it because it was a point I was getting a lot of money, you know, doing whatever. I was making money. I was good with handling money. You know, I have a business degree. I have a finance degree. So I have the brains to handle the money as well. So I've always been someone that gets to the bag.
Yeah.
And I started investing in shows. I started booking artists. I started booking these DJs and flipping my money, you know. It was another hustle for me.
Yeah.
So, and I just ran with it pretty much.
Now, you know, you're sort of like in an industry where, you know, things can change really quickly. You can go from being a nobody to a somebody really quick.
Yes.
Or you've seen somebody kind of like grind it out for years before they get that one big deal, right? So being at the forefront of something like that, how does that influence you in any way in keeping your 9 to 5? Because I know you're stay employed. So like, why do you keep the 9 to 5 through all of that?
I always tell people, you always have to have multiple sources of income.
Yeah.
So I don't care what it is. I don't care if I'm making $1 million doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not giving up a source of income.
That's constant and
That's
stable.
constant, stable, benefits, 401k, pension.
Right.
Why would I give that up?
Right.
You know, if I'm making money here, just dropping this off, and every first of the month I'm collecting a bag here, why would I give that up?
Yeah.
So I like to have multiple streams of income to come in because I like nice things. I like cars. I like going on vacations. My daughter like nice things. My mom doesn't eat leftovers, so I gotta maintain. I gotta keep that money coming in at all times.
And you're super transparent about that too.
Yeah.
Like one day you're in Chicago, you're in Atlanta, and then come Monday you back in the office.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
Because, you know, in the beginning, I used to hide the fact that, you know, I was a working man or I had a 9 to 5, you know. When I was managing DJ K Slay, the drama king, he was heavy in the streets.
Yeah.
So I'd come through with like 30, 40 goons. Anywhere K Slay going, we with him. And he used to call me like, Smitty, link me during the day. Mind you, I'm at work.
Right.
So sometimes I would leave work, go all the way back home, throw on my street gear, my hat, line up the crew, then come back into the city. And then one day I said to myself, like, hold up. I'm the one making everything happen.
Right.
I'm the one with the money. I'm the one people come to help them. So why am I not shining the light on the real me?
Right.
Like, I'm the one that could do what you dudes do. Plus, I'm in the office billing multi-million-dollar accounts that you can't do. I have 3 college degrees. So why am I not putting the light on that?
Right.
Why am I not setting the example for others that, you know, you could do that, but at the end of the day, always have an education, always have something to fall back on, always have a foundation.
Yeah, and you know, and that's so important, like, you know, the idea of being able to let the real you shine through and being authentic to who you are, because it's literally what makes you great.
Definitely.
It's literally what is funneling all these people to you because you know how to manage, you know how to multitask.
Yes.
So, I mean, amazing, right? And I think it's also important too for especially this generation of youngsters that are coming up that they don't understand, like, stability is friggin' key.
Definitely.
Right?
And it's crazy you say that because now I would never think that I would be the one to say, imagine, you know me from the jump, to say that, you know, some people look at me as a mentor.
Yes.
Some people look at me as an inspiration,
I mean, we've always kind of been that. Like, even the dudes that like to surround yourself, they kind of look up to you regularly.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But, you know, that's on some street stuff.
Yes,
you know, I always been that. But now when it's like all different type of people that I don't know, when I don't post on Instagram my memes, are like, bro, I needed that in the morning. Everything okay? People I don't know from Amsterdam, Chicago, Venezuela. I went to the Bahamas. I got a following out there every day. So, you know, that definitely had me like, you know what? I got to set an example.
Yes.
You know, because a lot of men out here are lost.
Oh, my God.
You know what I'm saying? It's cool to be what you be, but they're lost. Their mentality is because they don't have a father like me.
Yes.
To set the example. So I notice a lot of these people look at me as the example.
Yeah.
So when I noticed that, I said, you know what? I got to move right. I got to move a certain way, you know. And I've always been a righteous dude. Even though I could be with the gooniest of the goonists, the gangsters, you know, I've always moved righteous. I've never been I've never had drama, beef, or problems in the street. I've always been respected. I could go anywhere.
Right.
I go anywhere, New York City, Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, Manhattan, and I know the main dudes.
Yeah.
I know the dudes that's doing the stuff they're talking about. The dudes coming out from prison, the dudes that's, you know, so I know them personally.
Yeah.
But I don't look at them like that. They don't look at me like that, you know, because like you said, it's all about respect and how you deal with a person.
Now let's talk about this mantra, talk is cheap, because you're known as Mr. Talk is Cheap. So obviously we kind of have an idea what that means. But what does that mean to you? Because like you say, you're in these streets, you're well known, you've built this reputation for yourself, and people do reach out. You are the plug, right?
Yes.
So how do you, one, protect your peace? Because, you know, this talk is cheap mantra, like how does that help you to protect your peace from the people who just want to talk?
I mean, to tell you the truth, the talk is cheap motto, I don't even know how it came about.
Yeah.
It was just, you know, because I joke around a lot, but I'm more of a serious type of guy. If you don't know me, you know, a lot of dudes be like, yo, he's serious because I got a stone face. I'm not really a smiley, jokey type of dude. But if you know me, I'm the most jokey,
you always giving
smiley
jokes.
dude. But if you don't know me, you know, I'm with the goons. So you looking like, oh, who's that? You know, the way I come through. But talk is cheap came about because so many people were trying to reach me and talk in my ears. So I used to tell my cousins and people that, you know, if you want to reach me, you got to go through certain people. I used to tell them, yo, talk is cheap, man. I don't got time to talk. What they about? They about something. They got some bread. We doing something. We making move. So I would tell the people trying to reach me, getting through the actual negotiator, like talk is cheap. And I just started running with it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, people started associating me with that motto, talk is cheap. And then it started being known, if you want to talk to Smitty, you got to come correct because, you know, my patience is short.
Right.
You know, I got a lot going on. You know, I got an 80-year-old mother I got to take care of. I got a 14-year-old daughter I'm trying to raise. You know, I got my 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the radio every other night. You know, I'm traveling here and there. I'm trying to live my life. So I don't really have time to hear nonsense in my ears. You know, anything I hear has to be pure and with intent to do something, because if not, talk is cheap. What we talking about?
Right.
I hate people that just talk to talk. What you calling my phone for? I don't know you. What are you calling me
what do you
to
want?
talk about? What do you want? You know, so what do you want? See, I got my main phone here, and then I had to get a whole nother phone. This is for talk is cheap. You want to call me, you call this number. A lot of, if you got this number, you special, but this is the talk is cheap line. Because so many people out there, what I realized, their mentality is the mentality of a little kid.
Yes.
Like so many people will straight up tell you something and be like, yeah, Smitty, I want to do this. Yeah, I want to do this. So we'll do this Monday. And then Sunday, and then I'm like, all right, cool. And then when it's time, I'll call them Sunday like, all right, you ready? They'll straight disappear or, oh, damn, you were serious? Or, yo, you made it happen. So I really started saying like, not everybody stands on business. Not everyone is about something. More than likely, they ain't about shit.
Yeah.
So it's very rare you find people that stand on business and stand on their word.
Yeah.
And those are the people that you should keep close to you. Because a lot of people out here just run their mouth.
Right, yeah.
Like they really just talk to talk.
Now, let's even get on that train of thought. You are also known as like the plug to certain artists, upcoming artists, even artists that are like, you know, already established.
Yes.
what is it that you look for in terms of bringing somebody under the BDM umbrella? Like, what is the characteristic? Is it their style? Is it that their sound? Is it their, what do you look for in saying, yo, I'm a mess with this person?
Well, first and foremost, you gotta be on your own grind, especially at this point where I'm at now, because I did the managing artists. I manage, shout out to King Bo. I managed multiple artists. At one point, I used to manage 8, 9 artists at one point.
Yeah.
But it's like me being their daddy.
Yeah.
And, back then, before I had my daughter, I had time to do that. I was running around, and I never knocked that because that's what built me into who I am now.
Yeah.
That's what set up the foundation for me to build on. Because I know step by step what it takes for an artist, because I was hands on. I was the one calling the DJ.
Yeah.
I was the one going to the club with 2 vans full of dudes pressing the DJ like, you gonna play this right now. I was the one doing all that. So I learned the whole spectrum of what it needs to take to get to the next level, what the artist needs and everything. So yeah, and I just ran with it.
So now what do you look for in an artist? Like you said, they got to have their own grind and their own hustle. So what does that mean? Like they have to be able to, like, they're already sort of like moving?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I don't have time to hold. You got to be a Michael Jackson or a Chris Brown out here for me to meet you and be like, okay, I'm going to hold your hand from A to B and take you to the next level.
Yeah.
I need someone that already has their system structured up already.
Yeah.
They already got songs. They already got videos. They already going up to the radio. They already getting posted on different platforms. The only thing they should need from me is Smitty. My network is my network. Smitty, make some calls. Smitty, put me in front of Gillian Wallow.
Yeah.
Smitty, get me on Academics. Smitty, hit up DJ Self, see if he could do this for me and play my record tonight. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's a headache for me, and it's not worth my time at this point.
Because, and that's so important because, giving someone motivation, that's a whole friggin' job in and of itself.
It's a whole job, and right now, I really don't. Back in the days, I used to mold. That's how, like I said, everything served its purpose because I motivated everyone in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
If you was from Brooklyn, Flatbush, you know me. I motivated everyone because I did what others wasn't doing.
Yeah.
I took my money and was booking artists. I booked G-Unit. I booked Lloyd Banks. I brought him to a neighborhood in me alone.
Yeah.
I booked him. I paid him. I booked the club. I booked DJ Magic. I booked Young Child for the event back then, and I made the flip myself.
Yeah.
So you got to take the risk. You want to be the boss, you got to pay the cost. Like my Uncle Tony would say, God
right,
rest,
I love
God
Uncle
rest
Tony.
his soul. Exactly,
Yeah. No, that's super dope. And so what is your main focus right now? Like, what is the goal for BDM? Like, because it seems like, you're doing so much and you do it well, obviously, but like, what is the ultimate goal for BDM?
See, everyone says that, what's the ultimate goal? There's never a goal. I'm just passionate about what I do.
Yeah.
Like, I've been running on fumes, I think, for years. The past decade, just, this is a lifestyle now. And it's crazy sometimes when people say, Smitty, da-da-da, and I get the accolades and platforms like you want to interview me and they see what I do and the work I put in. I'm not used to that because I'm just so used to making it happen, grinding. It's a lifestyle. So now when you've been grinding for like 5 years, 10 years, and then now you start seeing like the benefits of the grind, you're like, oh shit.
Right.
Like, damn. Like,
does it scare you?
Now I go to the mall, Smitty talk is cheap. What up, Smitty? I'm like, oh shit, what up? I'm with my daughter, people, Smitty, what up? Da-da-da, yo, I'm trying to get to you. And I'm like, oh yeah. I mean, it doesn't scare me. It's just, I've never been like the fame don't move me because I've always been him in my community. Like, a lot of people, they get fame and they're like, oh, I've always been so. And then, when you get into it, a real hustler would know you don't want everyone to know you him.
Right. That part.
In this day of internet and clout chasing and all that, everyone wants clout.
Yeah.
When you really get into it and really touching money, you don't want no one to know you him and where you live and what cars you drive and no. So, and I've been him for a minute.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a lifestyle. You know, I'm just used to it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just used to it, and I'm humble. I take it in stride.
Right.
It doesn't get to my head. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I done partied with Jay-Z. I done had Diddy DM me, you know, all types of stuff. You name it, I did it.
Yeah.
You know, so it doesn't get to my head. I just stay rooted and grounded and just try to elevate.
And you know, you say something so important, because this whole platform of mine is about connecting passion to purpose. And the purpose is what keeps you going. It's the purpose that keeps you motivated. So when you say, yo, I don't have no ultimate goal, like this can lead you, which is so amazing, because it just shows how open you are to whatever doors that come, whatever opportunities that open, you're ready, and you're ready for it.
That's it. It's no goal. It's like, and there was never a goal in the beginning. The crazy part is, this was just something that came about.
Right.
Me being a dude that knew guys in my neighborhood, and a rapper, like, yeah, come out. And he seen I had all of those, and he seen what I didn't see.
Right.
He seen the power in me, like, yo, this dude has power.
Right.
Like, and I'm not even looking at it. Like, my cousin used to tell me, like, cuz, you got power. Like, when you move, you got 50 dudes moving with you. And I never looked at it like that, you know, until of recent, I was like, you know, maybe I might have a little power. I just, you know, I just been a dude, you know, I talk to anyone. I talk to the person that pick up the garbage. I talk to the CEOs. I talk, it's no levels, and that's what keeps me rooted and grounded.
Yeah.
You know,
Smitty, you know, you say something so important, because this whole platform is about making connections. And, you know, one of the things I talk about on this platform often is that you can make connections with anyone. You can learn from anyone. You can connect with anyone on any level, at their level even. There's no, like, you know, you don't have to think you're better than anybody. Like you say, you talk to the garbage person. You talk to, you know, from down, go all the way up to the top. And you treat everybody the same. Mm-hmm. How important is it in terms of you making connections and keeping connections with all the people that you've made connections with over the years? Like, how intentional do you have to be to maintain those connections?
Well, I'm going to tell you like this. I only want the connections and relationships that are genuine, real, and pure.
Yes.
You know, all the other connections you don't really need, you know.
Or want.
Yeah. When people, you know, chase, you know, people that don't want to be a friend or want to treat you like, no, you stay away from the people.
Yeah.
You go where the love is at.
Right.
You know, so me being who I am, if you not jacking me, I'm not jacking you.
Yeah.
You know, but if you're my friend, I'm your friend. I'm only going with a see you hit me up, hey, Smitty, come up to the yo, I would always, whatever you need, you can hit me and be like, Smitty, and I'll be there. I don't care if I'm with Jay-Z or if you know why? Because I rock with you as a person.
Right.
So whatever you need or whatever I'm doing that could help you, you know, and that's what's made my name.
Yes.
You know, that's what's made me be Smitty.
Yeah.
You know, and allows me to connect the dots, relationships. And just, you know, staying rooted and grounded. Some people, you know, I'm not going to mention his name. He's a bit of a famous person. I had some money from him. I had $5,000 from him. He like, Smitty, that's no money, da-da-da. Then I call someone else that's like, yeah, come, I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? And then now that person I didn't want the 5, I bet you he sure as hell will want the 5. But the other person that took the 5 is on top now. Mm-hmm. You know, because he was humble enough to still keep taking the 5.
Yeah.
That's like
and probably did it based on the connection more so than the money.
You heard what you said?
Yeah.
You heard what you said? It's like, you know what? Smitty calling me, so let me make sure I stay solid and hold him down.
Right.
Mind you, it's some people that, you know, I've been holding down for years. I used to lend money to and all that. I'll call them to get on their platform now, and they'll act all Hollywood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But you know that's how it be out here.
But that's, like you said, that's the connections that you don't really need or want,
at
right?
All.
Got to be genuine about it.
At all.
Yeah. You know, I really appreciate you. You know, and like you said, you've always been real when it comes to, you know, me and, you know, and I'm sure that translates to every single relationship, because that's the only way I've ever experienced you. Yeah. Like, regardless of whatever, I don't care if a year went by, we ain't talked, 2 years went by, we ain't I know that the connection is always there. The mutual respect is always there. And you bring that to everything that you do. And I really respect that. And the fact that I can even call you with everything that you got going on, I could call you, you can show me love and support, and,
Always.
vice versa.
Always.
Super appreciated.
Nah, you don't even got, like, I've known you know me when I was like nothing. Like, I think even before I even structured it into what I wanted it to be, you knew me fresh from college. I was still on my workout, still thinking I was brolic. My body was, out back then. I was on some. You
was on your Jay-Z.
Yeah, you knew me when I was so what I look like not always being there for you. You know what I'm saying? And what got you to this point with me is longevity. So, you're a person I'll know until I'm fucking, part of my language, I'll know until I'm dead probably.
Yeah.
Because
real talk.
When you know a person, the longer you know them is the longer you'll deal with them.
Yeah.
If you just meet someone, that's like if you just meet someone, you're quick to not deal with what they got going on, like, nah, I'm good. Get that person out of me. But the longer you know them, and it's a year or two now, and they come with an issue, it's like, oh, man, I got to deal with that. I know. You understand what I'm saying?
And not only
so
that.
it builds. It builds up.
And not only that, like, real is real. Like, you can tell authentic. You can tell genuine.
Yeah, facts,
you can tell real love, right?
Facts.
And kind of cross out the bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's super important in terms of, like, what is it that you're doing now? Listen, Smitty, I know you're going to do amazing. You're already doing amazing
Appreciate
things.
it.
And I'm looking forward to seeing where BDM will go in the future. If there's an artist out there that want to get a hold of you, that make sure you on your shit. But if there's an artist out there that want to get a hold of you, how did they find you?
I mean, now in this day and age, if you know someone, you know someone. That's how you get to me. But you could check out my Instagram, SMITBDMCEO, Smith BDMCEO. Not Smith with an H, Smith, SMITBDMCEO. Check out my gram, shoot me a message. My email, SmithBDMCEO. You add the 1@gmail.com, and just come correct, because I don't got time to play.
Talk is cheap.
And I'm quick to tell a person, like, what were you talking about? Like, everyone wants me to be their big bro or their cousin, or no. I already got enough cousins. I already got enough family that needs stuff, and I'm still, so you got to get online before, so come correct, come business minded, or just, introduce yourself. Like, hey, Smitty, my name is such and such. This is my music. When you get a chance, check it out. I respect that way versus people that try to buddy me up.
Yeah.
And
just to get to what they want to
get. I see
get.
it coming a mile away. I see it coming. Like, I see you guys.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know you. Like, and I'm from Brooklyn, real Brooklyn.
Real Brooklyn.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I don't want no new friends, and you can't get up on me. So, and they, but when they get to know, like, yeah, you can't get up on me, then they move correctly. So.
Well, I appreciate you continuing to connect your passion to purpose and staying authentic to who you are. I wish you ultimate success, but I know you're going to get, because I already see you, how you move, and how you've been consistent for all these 20 odd years that I've known you. Thank you so much for supporting me by coming on this platform.
No, definitely.
And I look forward, and thank you. And with that, thank you so much for joining us on the Korean Connection, and join us next time. Let's connect. Thank you guys for connecting with me today. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe to my channel, The Korean Connection. To connect with me, you can email me at thekoreanconnection@gmail.com. And don't forget that sometimes your passion whispers before it roars. And if you're listening closely, the next episode might be where it gets louder. Let's connect. Push it to the